All right, everyone, welcome to this live stream. I know you guys have been awaiting this live stream for a long time, and I'm gonna finally bring it to you. We have been waiting this entire year for the brand new update of the 2020 edition, and I'm gonna go ahead and transition this over to the actual screen. And you can finally see we are playing the official 2020 edition of Power and Revolution. I really have to thank one of my friends for this. He actually helped me get my hands on it just so I could show you guys today. So I do appreciate that. Let me get the game sound. Okay, that possibly might actually be better. Yeah, turn down the game volume. Okay, so I did. If that's better, please let me know. Next time you play the political process, please switch your party to Democrat and become a U.S. Senator and switch back to Republican. That's one kind of thing. But yeah, again, we are playing the official 2020 edition of Power and Revolution. So without further ado, let's go ahead and test out this game. I've actually already played a couple of minutes of the 2020 edition, and I definitely screwed up. So I have a little bit of knowledge, but we're going to go ahead and try to see what happens. So should I play the United States of America? Should I try to deal with COVID as the United States of America, or should I do another country? There's a couple of options that I could actually go off of. I could be the Russian Federation, I could be the Republic of Turkey, I could be China even. Japan could be another good one. We got a couple of European countries. Got a couple of suggestions for Russia, one for Turkey, one of them for Sweden. There's a new country in the game, actually. Let me bring it down. Where is it? There's Mozambique. Eswatini, actually. That is the... right there. So that was actually another country, Swaziland, I believe. It was actually yeah, Lesotho is that central country right there. So that was Swaziland, and they actually renamed their country the Eswatini. Got a lot of division in the live stream chat about where I should be playing at. We got America. I was about to go to sleep. It's only 7 a.m. Oh, well, I just got up. Like, I did this for y'all. Like, y'all wanted this. I did it for y'all. Wow, we have 33 people watching at the beginning of this live stream. Why are you streaming so early? I literally woke up, so I was just like, screw it. Like, goddamn. What else? I mean, we got a lot of suggestions, other suggestions: UK, Brazil, China, Australia is a good suggestion, actually. Australia's one of the options. Okay, there's a lot of division. Not really a big majority of people. Let's go ahead and be... let's be Turkey. No. Here. I'm gonna go ahead and be Australia, just to kind of show off the features. Well, okay. I am totally just gonna show off the features real quick, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start as another country of y'all's choice. Not a lot of people are able to kind of like come together and pick one. There's just a lot of different names in the chat, so I promise I'm gonna do one of those countries, but let's just go ahead and look at these features real quick. US is always gonna be one of the biggest ones that I want to do. Yeah, definitely Greece, as if their economic situation isn't already worse, and you want me to play as them? 40 people are watching this live stream. Guys, if you guys are watching this right now, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new.
The year 2020 promises to be an exciting year, especially with the Tokyo Olympic Games, which will captivate the whole world, and the suspenseful American election. In today's news, we have reports of an epidemic of an unknown strain of pneumonia in China, specifically in Wuhan, where about 30 cases have been reported, all from those having visited the same seafood market where wild animals for human consumption are also sold. This information, provided by the World Health Organization, comes from Chinese health officials, who have indicated that at this stage there is no clear evidence of person-to-person transmission. This concludes our broadcast, and before we leave, on behalf of the entire staff, I would like to extend our best wishes for health and prosperity.
Oh my god. Holy hell. Holy hell. That was a lot. Yeah, it's gonna be a terrible year. It's gonna be a very bad year. Don't worry about it, news lady. So, Donald Trump actually looks a lot better in Power and Revolution 2020. Like, I actually really like him. He looks almost dead spot on, honestly, like, if I have to think about it that much. Best year ever. Wow, it's really active. We have 50 people watching this live stream. That's awesome. Oh, wow. Alright, so first off, right as we start off the game, we're not really dealing with COVID yet. So this is like the normal scenario. This is like the one that you would play in 2019, 2018, something like that. And so in 2020, the regular scenario is actually the one where you end up having to deal with COVID. It may be a very, very scripted. We're going to be studying some of the case effects. What we're really going to be watching is how the disease spreads. And I think as the United States, for this specific one, I'm going to actually just kind of like let it spread and see what happens and see how bad it usually can get before like it really starts taking a toll on the United States populace. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of like let the game run, and then we're gonna kind of watch the effects of the cases kind of grow. So if we kind of like go over here, there's a button. So let's go ahead and accept. So there's a button right over here in which I can actually just click that, and it shows me the cases that are actually all over the country. So if I click on any country other than China, I mean, I can click on any country and it shows me the regional data that they are currently going through. So if I click on China, then it's going to show that Wuhan, or the region of, I believe this is Hubei. Hubei is actually the region in which Wuhan is centered. So if I... Popularity rating 74%, yeah, sure. So if I actually go over here, implementing health protocols, all business driving away customers, now fitting rooms should remain closed in the clothing stores. Also, clothing on shelves should be regularly disinfected. A lot of practices are going to have to change for business owners. If it takes more to alienate those we've interviewed, then it's another story for their customers. People go shopping to clear their heads, not to get a migraine. You're going to turn a time of relaxation into an ordeal. I mean, yeah. Chinese New Year in Japan has been disrupted. Chinese New Year all over the world has been disrupted. So China, Vietnam, Japan. I guess, oh, these are countries with like large Chinese populations. First case of the coronavirus transmission in China. So, current health data. We have updated health industry data in terms of our resources and supplies in the event of a health catastrophe. You'll be able to find them in the prevention department of the health. I already read that. Just looking at the chat, making sure. Can you check the elections tab? They could have added the ability to deliberately spread the virus with your secret services. Hee. Yeah, sure. Ow. Nope. There's not There's nothing there for that. So yeah, if I click on here, then it's going to show me all of the regional data for myself. So basically, whenever you get the first case, it's going to show up in one of these states. The first one that I actually had whenever I first played this, it showed up in Washington. So we're going to see if it starts out the same way, if I get the first like 1 or 2 cases in Washington state. And then after Washington state, it ended up spreading to like Oregon and Idaho, and then after that, that's whenever I actually lost complete control of the epidemic. So we have 58 cases of COVID right now in China. So we're gonna watch. So it actually, you don't even have to like click away from it. It actually updates literally every single day. So if I just kind of like leave it here and then you just kind of like leave it running, then it's gonna kind of like just go along with what it's supposed to do. So what I really want to know is, I don't know whether this is scripted or not, because apparently someone found out that there possibly might be a cap for how many cases China can get, because in real life they didn't get more than, what was it, like 80,000 cases? I think 80,000 cases of COVID. So you're going to see it kind of go up, and then you're going to see it almost eliminate itself, but 3 cases, and then it's going to spike again. And this is usually how it happens, is that people kind of recover from it. I mean, 53 people have recovered from it, 2 people are still infected, 3 people are dead, 1 person just died. But that literally just eliminated like one of the other cases. So it literally just wiped itself out in China. But there are still people contaminated. That's cumulative. So that's cumulative. So I don't know whether contaminated. So contaminated, there, yep, see it. Contaminated, it went from 54 to now it's 51 active cases. Now it's 100. So that's whenever you're going to start seeing that spike, is whenever you have that initial spike, and then it kind of starts going down again, and then it's going to spike again, but then as soon as that second spike comes up, it's going to hit that region very hard. Now it just spread down to Guangdong, actually, so not in Hong Kong, but it did spread to Guangdong, which is actually the second region I remember. Now it's in Beijing. 428 cases of COVID now in China. Well, those cases
we have detected a patient carrying the virus. Tests were
And
performed twice to be sure, but there is absolutely no doubt. Faced with this unknown virus, even if there's no reason to be alarmed for the moment, we should nevertheless remain vigilant and have the means to react quickly if need be. To this end, we have put together a veritable arsenal of measures in the departments relevant to an eventual epidemic, that being health, police, labor, and in the various economic sectors. This situation can potentially...
I'm gonna be totally honest, that guy totally does look like Tom Hanks. Like, that was the first thing I saw, and I was just like, oh my god, he looks like Tom Hanks. Basically the rest of it, I had to stop it, but basically he goes through and tells me that there's so it's health, police, labor, and treasury are gonna be the ones that actually have COVID tabs in it, and then various economic sectors. So economic sectors, that's whenever I can go in and I can specifically help specific sectors in the economy. By the way, we have like 60 people watching this live stream. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to have any suggestion about what I should do to deal with COVID, if you have any country you want me to see, actually deal with this, we're literally just testing out the features in this one. But we're actually going to start off on another game, and we're going to actually try to stop COVID, basically. Shows the research tree, whether it has new stuff. Or yeah, well, one of the newest things is actually gonna be annual maneuvers.
As we do at the end of every year, we have begun full-scale military
exercises. So apparently military exercises are a thing. Let's do this.
We are now updating figures on the spread of the...
Oh yeah, I totally need to check. Yep, it is in Washington State. Well, we got two patients infected. Got 1,300 now in China. And 3 in the United States. So at this point, you have the complete and total authority. You beautiful. Let me actually save that real quick, just so I can see what it means. So if I actually have the option, then I can actually go over. So let me go to budgets, currency, taxation, civil servants, no, debts, finance. So there's it's apparently supposed to be in the Treasury tab. Let's go over here. United Nations, WHO, publicly support. So there's only 3 options for the WHO. It's to leave the organization, publicly support the organization, and then publicly contest the organization. World Bank, same thing. So that's the feature list for that. There was an earthquake in Alaska, unfortunately. That's really bad to deal with during an epidemic. Playing Russia next, please. Actually, China, can you rig elections in this game? Yes, you can. Okay, so there was actually an issue I actually heard about in this. So one of the issues is, I think it's actually. I think what it's actually doing is it actually is getting the nuclear missiles confused with the actual missile launchers. So one of the things that you can actually do is that if you actually go over to missile launchers, you got 15,000 missiles. But now in the 2020 edition, it needs to be updated, and we will probably get an answer for this within this week. There's no way for me to actually do that. It's just giving me the option to build up more of my nuclear arsenal, I believe, and that's, I mean, let me put that at 7,000 and see what happens. Terrible earthquake in Alaska. And are the elections realistic in this game? Kinda not. Let me go here. Increased risk. So I just have to play it and just see what happens. So then, COVID's gonna start going up. This one right here kind of takes a little bit. You need to actually get a lot of cases for this R0 to matter, and this is called the R0. Basically, the R0 is how many people one person can transmit it to. So now we actually do have a considerable R0, which it's a 3.4, which that's actually really bad. 3.4 basically means, or 3.6 actually basically means that one person can transmit it to 3.5 people. So that means one person, and then 4 people, and then 8 people, and then that just keeps doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling, and then you got a pandemic on your hands. The elections are the worst thing about this game, slightly. See, in this game, you're probably going to see the cases again on your country. They're going to go up, and then they're going to start going down a little bit. And I think if you don't take any action whatsoever, it's going to spiral out of control. So it's, I mean, I could probably make a time lapse about just unrestricted government intervention, see what happens with COVID on that end. So we got one person. That's most likely, it's gonna go up to 2. There's still 14 people contaminated with COVID. In China, there's 26,000 people that are infected now. It's actually spiraling. I mean, it could spiral out of control, but I mean, again, we need to see what the cap is going to be. Contaminated patients, 56,000. If this goes above 65,000, then that's probably going to say that it's probably not, what do you call it, scripted, I guess, for China. If active cases stops going up after 65,000, then that could also be another one. Let's come back over to United States. Still 2 people infected. So there's a couple of different options in here. So we have the epidemic severity level, which basically gives me all of the state's info in general, and then I can click on each state. And then so each state gives me a portfolio of just basically what's going on in that specific region. And then so if you actually go over to some of the, oh, there's the spike, 20 people infected, now it's going to start spiraling. See, if you actually look, it's going to start changing the severity level, so now it's a medium level threat instead of a low level threat. What, 30 people infected. R0 is now 4.6, so that means that one person can infect 6 people. That's a lot of people. So again, you're going to see these numbers start going up. Space research, that's the InSight probe. Another earthquake in Mexico, that's unfortunate.
In a press
Beneficial popularity. So if I actually, so these things actually literally research for you at the very beginning of the game, so that's actually really good. What is going on? You should respond as late as possible to make it more realistic. So actually I did that at first, and we're gonna do that again just to see again what the numbers look like. So let's look at the situation in China. See, it spiked up and then it goes all the way back down. So now they have, what, 67,000. So someone gave me a number earlier. And it was 65,536. So China, 67,335. And there's 3,300 active cases right now. 67,000. So if it goes above 70,000, then that basically means that it's not capped around 60,000. And again, I mean, these steps have to be like automated, I guess. I mean, because every nation most likely is taking some sort of action. South Korea has 3,000 cases. Japan has 99 cases. So we're at 68,000 right now. Weekly economic calculations appear on the timer. Yeah, every I guess every day or every week, it always just said weekly economic calculations. So it's because the economic calculation is very, 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 very like in depth, I guess. And I actually emailed Eversim about this, asking them what has changed. Ah, damn it, I deleted one of the messages, but it basically says the holy grail of energy production is your fusion nuclear power plants. So that's a big one. That's a big one that I really, really want to test out, but I don't have God and Spy, so I can't do that. Let's go ahead and see what else is right here. Alright, we got more cases of COVID now. We have 679 cases. We have very large outbreak that just happened. Now it just spread from Washington to New York, and then to California, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. So we do have an outbreak on our hands now. Just because I'm not doing anything, and I'm not going to do anything, because we're just going to basically watch and see what happens. See if we can get more cases than the United States has right now. Is this, like, out of touch and insensitive? I have no idea yet. I mean, Everson's the one that made this, so I'm just testing out their game, and I'm just using the features. God dang it. What about Italy? It officially started in Italy, even though its first cases were spotted in Italy, but in Finland, somewhere in Scandinavia, speaking of Europe. Hey, can you do something to a guy? Maybe. What does the COVID situation look like in Turkey? Let's go ahead and check on Turkey. Spain. Spain is really bad. Oh my god, Spain is horrible right now. 18,000 active cases with an R0 of 4. France, 8,500 cases. 2,500 in the United Kingdom. 11,000, 14,000 in Germany. In Turkey, we have 660 cases. In China, we have 70,000 contaminated patients, but their situation is kind of starting to level out. How many are dead? 3,700. Around the same amount of people are dying in the game as they did in real life. And for some reason, all of the regions got affected except the northern regions of China outside of the Inner Mongolian region. And Hainan and Shanghai were actually not affected. So that's one thing. 3 people in Myanmar. They're all... Okay, so contaminated patients are contaminated with the virus, but they are still infectious. So if you have contaminated patients, then that does mean that they are still able to spread it across any sort of region. 89,000 cases. $2020 costs $40, but if you have 2019, the upgrade is $19. Well, looks like we just passed 1,000 cases, so that's a very grim milestone for our country. 100,000 cases of COVID now. Man, I'm totally gonna get demonetized. Like, I'm not gonna be able to make money off of this stream. Is it out on Steam? No, not yet. Have you closed the borders, flights, etc.? So yeah, let's actually look at some of the features that we actually have in which we can actually stock it. We already ran out of tests.
This is serious.
Tom Hanks is telling us to make more tests. Approaching the terrorist group, the Xinjiang Uyghur Free Front. Yeah, I mean that's relevant. 256. That's actually the same amount of money that I actually had to incur the last time. Stock of tests insufficient. Interest rate renegotiation. This is a significant number that will have an impact on our public opinion. The media will have a field day with this information. We must be extremely vigilant about the spread of this epidemic. Gaga Lord, thank you so much for that donation. I really do appreciate it. What else? So let's not do that because there's a pandemic happening right now, but let's go ahead and look at some of the features that we actually have whenever we are dealing with this pandemic. So if I actually go over here to COVID-19, if we go into the Health and Social Security bar, and then there's a bar right over here where it says COVID-19, then you have this drop-down menu. You have ICU beds, you have coronavirus testing screening tests, you have medical respirator masks, and then you have respirator masks for the general public. So then if you actually go over to this one, then you're going to have several more options down here where it's basically construction of a temporary emergency hospital, construction of a field hospital, which is the Army. This one is take advantage of a field hospital that it can be erected quickly and closed where it is needed. It is mostly administered by the Army and requires a collaboration of specialists for its construction. Field hospital has all the capabilities and needs for fewer resources than a full hospital capacity. Then a temporary hospital. This type of facility is not meant to be permanent. It is in response to a unique emergency situation. Its construction will require the hiring of specialized staff. So I believe this is actually like in the event of a not catastrophic, but it's like your hospitals, you're going to be able to actually, let me go back. You're going to be able to see whether your regions are actually being overcrowded with hospitals. And so if you actually pay attention, you're going to see that there are going to be sometimes, let me come over here, rate of telecommunicating. Number of deaths, where was it? So basically, okay, let me actually do this. So if I go to California, for example, it's going to show that the epidemic severity level is very strong. So then if I actually go over to ICU beds available, this is going to be directly affected by how many severe cases you actually have. So California, for example, has 13,924 ICU beds. So they are currently taking care of 759 severe cases of COVID. So that means that if you get up to 13,000 severe cases, then you are going to be overcrowding your hospitals. And then that means that if you overcrowd your hospitals and you are not able to actually get rid of that song, if you're not actually get a handle on the situation, then you will start losing approval. You will start to lose the situation as it is, like severe cases, 489 in Texas. So then I have 8,489 ICU beds. So then once overcrowding starts up, then you're going to start having problems with actually taking care of people that actually need that help. And then you're going to start losing a lot of people due to the disease. So that's one of the features in this game if you are not able to get a handle on the situation. I obviously am not going to get a handle on this situation again. I'm just kind of just watching to see what happens. Damien, thank you again so much for that donation. We have high severity levels all over the United States. 179,000 infected, 181,000 actually are recovering. 300,000 are contaminated with it, and we have 7,000. We actually have 7,000 severe cases. Now we have 8,000 severe cases. So again, as your numbers go up, you will start getting more severe cases depending on where you are and what policies you're actually enacting. Can you close the borders on specific countries during the COVID-19 situation? Let's go over to Secret Service, immigration. There's the wall at the Mexican border. Let's police. You can regulate nationwide travel. By limiting travel, we automatically limit contact situations. The goal is also not to spread the virus in uncontaminated regions. Banning all travel amounts to confining the population. Essential reasons include health issues, working in essential sectors, childcare, and assisting with at-risk people. All sectors can subsequently be affected by limiting travel, beginning with travel and tourism. So we have no regulation as of right now, but then you can move it over to travel restricted to less than 100 kilometers from the residence except for essential purposes. And then you have another option, which is travel restricted less than 1 kilometer of the residence except for essential reasons. And then you have another one, which is no travel is permitted except for essential reasons. And then you can apply these to the entire country, to heavily contaminated regions only, or you can do it to all contaminated states. So that means with any severity level threat, you will be able to implement it on heavily contaminated areas, which I believe is only going to be severe areas, and then all contaminated areas is anything that has even one case. You have other things right here. You have the regulation of gatherings, schools, cafes, bars, and restaurants, businesses, lockdowns, population lockdowns, nationwide travel, the reuse of a public transport, the closing of borders, and then software for tracking the population. Basically, this one, tracking, consists of installing an app on a GPS-equipped smartphone that you can be alerted in the event of contact with a contaminated person. The notified person can then be tested by a quarantine in the event of testing positive for the virus. So tracking helps limit the spread of the virus, but also opens a debate on individual liberties because the users could feel under surveillance in their movements and could have doubts about the use of their data. So then the first regulation is going to be no regulation. The second one is going to be tracking used and encouraged on a voluntary basis, and then tracking enforced for everyone, which that probably would turn the United States into a civil war. So one of the other things that actually is about the economy, basically Eversim actually changed the situation in which so here's all of it by country. So the United States is actually right here, and Italy seems to actually be leading the world in the situation right now. So unfortunately for Italy, they are really having a hard time. Number of people in partial unemployment, 300,000 people are on partial unemployment. Cafes, bars, and close. So then on these ones, it's on gatherings. On gatherings, you can ban gatherings on more than 10,000 people, which is basically like concerts or anything like that. Ban gatherings on more than 1,000 people. You're basically banning like just large gatherings, large events. And then ban on gatherings of more than 100 people. That's just literally any big party gathering, I guess. So that's for gatherings, and then gatherings is actually one of the first options you usually pick. But anyway, with the economy, there is actually I believe Eversim actually changed it to the point to where basically we can get within 10% of this deficit, so around 15-16%, we can actually we can literally use that much of our deficit before creditors start kind of looking at us and they're like, hey, what are you doing with our money? So that is actually one of the messages I actually got on the game. So that's one of the coolest things that I've actually seen. Looks like the United States kind of topped out. 145,000 cases, over 1 million contaminated, and we have no restrictions whatsoever right now. Any other diseases apart from COVID can appear. There's influenza 1, there's the bubonic plague, and then there is Ebola. And then there's cholera, I believe, too. And eventually a vaccine gets made. There is actually a vaccine that you can invest a lot of money and research into. Kinda looks like it's starting to bend back upward. Active cases, 146,000. And then if I actually go over to police, no, that's police. So if I go over to here, what I actually really want to test out, region most overcrowded overseas. The United States overseas territory is very overcrowded. U.S. Virgin Islands. Let's look over here. Did they get rid of the Midway Islands? There was a territory right over there. I must inform you of a traffic event that took place in Minneapolis. An African American... Oh no! Oh no. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Eversim? I had a feeling. I had a feeling that this was gonna be in here, but I did not have any confirmation whatsoever. But yep, they put it in. And not only that, but guess what I gotta deal with afterward? We gotta deal with the... Oh, God. Let's see what happens.
This is
See, you're gonna have a lot of issues if you're not really getting that. If you're gonna have a lot of issues if you're not getting the testing situation, which I need to do a smaller country that isn't affected that much by it. All right. Yikes! 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 Oh, the roads are gone. All right, we're sending in the bulldozers. Oh God, the military shoot to kill. I got an achievement for it.
we have subdued.
All right, Minnesota, please don't. Okay, there's gonna be a huge like explosion of protests in like a few days. Ah, yes, all of the memories of 2020 are just coming right back to me right now. This was the exact day that I went over to a Dallas protest and got into the middle of a riot. Wow, this is. Let's see how much more George Floyd this actually gets into. I honestly did not expect that they were gonna put that in there. Like that did surprise me, and I mean they got the day right too. The U.S. anti-racism movement is pervading the country. Mr. President, anti-racism protests have broken out almost everywhere in the United States. Of course, these are echoes of events that unfolded in the U.S. after the death of an African-American man killed by a white police officer in Minneapolis. We are no exception. The protest movement has spread to almost every country on the planet. Our government is being actively called to make progress on the sensitive issues of racism and police brutality. I swear to God, if they did they put something in here where I can fix that issue? Stock of tests are insufficient. Okay, Tom Hanks. Incident in Minneapolis. This demonstration in Minneapolis after police killing. That is so cool. That is so cool. I mean, yeah, like you literally are just like, yeah, you already have like a really bad year. Like, hell yeah, let's like put all of the social issues that we have right now in the United States, and then they'll just put them into one game. And our growth is starting to drop off. Adaption.
In view of the spread of this epidemic, we have requested that all medical establishments find immediate pragmatic solutions to substantially increase the number of ICU beds. I will get back to you shortly.
Wait, in view of this, we have requested that all establishments find immediate pragmatic solutions to increase the number of ICU beds. Okay. We have 70 people watching this live stream right now. Guys, if you guys are watching this, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and really, if you are watching this right now and you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. This is the biggest live stream I've ever had. I knew this was going to be a huge live stream, so I really did prepare for it. All right, Patriot, well, thank you so much for being in this live stream. And again, everyone that is attending right now, thank you all for joining. COVID graph, let's go ahead and look. It's kind of flattened off. Did we flatten the curve? Number of deaths. Wow, a lot of them are dead in California. 7,000 dead in California. 2,000 dead in Illinois. 4,000 dead in Texas. 3,000 dead in New York. Minnesota. Looks like there was no spike after that demonstration. That is so cool, whatever. The approval rating is unrealistic. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's power and revolution. I mean, like if you were around the 40s or something like that, you were pulling these kind of numbers, like you wouldn't survive. So I mean, it's a welcome thing. May not be realistic, but I mean, yeah, 79% whenever literally everyone has COVID. Oh, let's go ahead and check on a situation. A couple of cases are going back up. United Kingdom, 8,000 deaths overtook cases, actually. Oh, wow, it's actually starting to normalize in the United Kingdom. In Italy, got up to 732 per 1 million. That's a lot. 32,000 people died in Italy. 200,000... Is that 200,000? Yeah, 200,000 have recovered from it, and 200,000 are contaminated at this moment. The Holy See. Some of these smaller countries, I mean, oh my god, imagine that if it like got into the Holy See or like San Marino and it just wiped them out. Active cases, 8 deaths, 40 people dead in San Marino. Tom Hanks still says that my tests are insufficient. Test policy. So you actually do have a test policy. So I actually go over here. This is going to be in Health and Social Security. So if I actually go over to COVID-19 and then I actually go over to test policy, you can actually figure out who you want to give the test to. So you don't have anything in stock, but then it shows you the amount of tests that you actually need in the next 2 weeks. So this is in thousands, so 8,000, 48,000, 748,000, 7 million, 77, that's 10 million, 50 million, 4 billion. I need 4 billion tests. Is this 4 billion? I don't know. Test policy. So I can actually figure out whether I want to give it to people presenting symptoms, and then their friends and family, and preceding lines. And then there's healthcare providers every week, and preceding lines, care home personnel every week, and then preceding lines, and then individuals exposed to the public, which is police, cashiers, teachers, and preceding lines. And then you can do that for the whole country, heavily contaminated states only, or all. Believe you should hear me. I don't know if it just cut off or not for me. Defund Social Security and abolish healthcare and make it more realistic. And don't forget to exit the WHO. Yes, sir. That's exactly what we're gonna do. Percent of occupancy in the entire country, 0.03%. Number of regions with overcrowding, 1, which is our overseas region, apparently. So let's go ahead and look at our overseas region. Guam is its own region, so there's one area where I can actually find the overseas region of the United States. American Samoa. Patients recovered, contaminated patients 1. I don't know where the overseas region of the United States is. Kiribati, the Marshall Islands. I want to see the Battle Royale. Oh my god, that's funny. And how do you make tests and masks? Alright, that's what I'm gonna figure out. Stock of tests insufficient.
The population
At
affected by the disaster
6.2
is
billion,
in a
so
very
let's do $8 billion.
precarious situation.
And then... So actually, one of the things you can actually do is you can do... Okay, so let's actually do this. So I can't see them. U.S. Virgin Islands. Alabama. Where the heck is it? The Virgin Islands? Let's check the Virgin Islands real quick and see how they're doing. Because I can transfer patients just in case it is getting overcrowded. 53 out of 55 ICU beds. When is the giveaway? Please make a separate video on the giveaway, please. I will, actually. Basically, the giveaway is going to be whenever I actually get the code, which is going to be this week. Basically, I got my hands on this game just to preview it for you guys for today and for this week, but I just wanted to get it to you guys as early as possible just to make sure that you guys are able to, like, you know, indulge and see what you guys think. Is there new taxes? Are there new taxes? And yes, I will be doing a giveaway, by the way. New taxes, there's no new taxes, I believe. Just as George H.W. Bush said, no new taxes. Big game. I need big game. Big game from Madame. Yes, I am revolting at the thought. Yes, sir. I pursue YouTube. You're a creator of games. I'm very confused. Is there new taxis? Taxis? Let's look at the other things, because there's like new military units as well. So if I actually go over here, Momstrom, so that is, let's see what happens whenever I try to launch it. Can I launch it at like an ISIS position or something? I don't even think there's ISIS anywhere in here now. Oh my god, there's a nuclear accident in Iran. Let's launch it somewhere. But this is the silo that you actually have. Don't really know what it looks like whenever it launches, but yeah, like this is the new one. Let's actually go over to Fort Irwin and let's look at some of the newer units. So this one, and then this. Oh, that is so cool. So you can have these things like positioned in certain areas. What is this? So these are all anti-missile. Oh, and that thing's supposed to be towed, so it's just like a little mobile, like, anti-air position, I guess. That is so cool. And then this one's actually modeled off of the Patriot missile system. So interesting concepts, I guess. I mean, it's, you know, it's possibility being spotted. So actually, one of the biggest things that's actually new out of this game, there's a fog of war. The fog of war actually does exist in this game. So whenever they actually move troops anywhere in their territory, I don't think you're going to be able to see them until they actually move over to the border with your country. So that's one of the coolest things, is that there is actually a fog of war, and you have these reasons for deploying them. So, without nuclear weapons code, it will never be used. We need a new war to appease the MIC. What the heck is the MIC? Control 2 different countries and then use air defense? Yeah, that would be a one. Launch it in Libya or Afghanistan. Oh, Afghanistan. That's a place. Let's do you. There's only one of them, and they cost so freaking much. They cost like 20-something billion dollars. Apparently the Mujahideen taken over a couple of regions.
We are going to violate the territories of one or several other nations. Do you confirm your order?
Yeah. I mean, is my missile gonna violate their area? Oh, okay. Can I launch at you? Can I launch at myself?
We are going to attack this country.
I want to. Military-industrial complex. Destroyed Iran. Hell yeah. Tom Hanks says that we're still out of tests. This is serious. Oh god, we're spiking again. 254,000 cases of COVID now. 780 per 1 million. ICU beds? Insufficient number of beds. Let's look around real quick. I really want to find this overseas territory. It's not letting me find it. It is June now, so we are approaching the US presidential election. Speaking of, let's let me actually find this real quick. The tournament is rescheduled. 7/24/2021 is whenever the Tokyo Summer Olympics has been delayed for the first time since World War II. You probably have to be at war to launch a missile, possibly. I'm only buying Tuesday whenever I come to Portuguese. And then can you check the stats for the Syrian opposition? Let me look. And again, guys, if you are watching this, let's actually get up to 60 likes. We're at 46 likes right now, so if you guys are watching us right now, please leave a like. Let's say accept. Health restrictions forced its cancellation. Because of the epidemic, the organizers had no choice but to cancel the tournaments. The supporters are very sad, and in a way this will weigh on the morale of the population, but the health security has prevailed, and there is no alternative. As for the athletes, they are feeling depressed, and they may have to rely on psychological help to feel motivated and resume training. Still, the sporting calendar remains unclear, so a lot of our things are getting... Speaking of, we literally have no tests. So I think the testing right now is actually being underreported, because I think these are people who are literally just going to the hospital and then reporting that they are sick. So one of the things about this is that you can actually run out of tests, and then if you run out of tests, then you're not going to be able to get a lot of you're not going to be able to know exactly how many people out there are actually carrying COVID. So once you actually start getting your hands on more tests, then you're going to be able to actually get a handle on the situation. But at this point, I'm completely screwed. Can you lie about your cases in authoritarian countries? Possibly not. But it's all about who has the control over the media. 7,000 cases in Turkey. Alright. Let me go over to coronavirus screening tests, and then new purchase contracts. So you're supposed to be able to buy them from someone. But I don't know where to buy them from. Okay, for one thing, let's go ahead and trust them. See, no one is producing them. Let's buy them from ourselves. Let's do 5 million. Let's do 5 million units. Okay, 15 million units actually. So we should probably get a response from it in a day. So that's going to be delivered in August. Okay, so that is a possibility. Growth is now negative. Can you show us Biden's face? Actually, yeah, that's what I meant to do. Let's go to... Oh, let's actually look at who is running. Program... Burke Schuster is running on a Democratic ticket, but if I actually go over to Party and Power, no, this is going to be other parties. So if I actually go over to other parties, you will see a very, very special someone who is not running for president for some reason. Where is he? Oh my god, it's Elizabeth Warren. Oh my god, that's so funny. Who is that? Marlene Soonberg? Oh, that's Michael Bloomberg. Oh my god, it's Michael Bloomberg. He's in the game. Ashley Smith, I don't know who the heck that is, but Michael Bloomberg, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. You didn't even tell me you were streaming today. I apologize for that. Where the heck is... That guy looks familiar. James Kenney? Oh, that's John Kerry. Tom Cox. John Jackson. Jesse Jackson? Is this supposed to be Jesse Jackson? There he is. There is my boy. Tom Baden. Oh man, they even put a B in there. Tom Baden. My boy, my main man, Tom Baden. Let's go ahead and request a meeting with him and try to give him a little something something. I wonder if you can actually, like...
Sure.
Oh, he laughed at me, you son of a hell. Tom Baden, I know. PG for president, hell yeah. The game isn't even on Steam yet. No, it is not. 235,000 people are now infected with COVID. Cases are going down, but it just sharply went up. 3 million people are contaminated now. And it's still no lockdown. There's still no lockdown. I have not taken any sort of action yet. 500,000, 500,000, 500. It's going down. So 4 million people infected with it. Creepy Joe looking good. Yes, sir, he is. They probably, I think they actually did. Like, I would always want to skip weeks, but now it's actually working a lot faster than it was before. We are now at 55 likes. Okay, we need 5 more likes to reach my goal. I want to get up to 60 likes on this live stream. 300,000 cases of COVID as of right now. me just see these numbers. I mean, I like this game. I like the update. I think it's actually very, very refreshing, and it's going to be something that is going to be a challenge. Not only whenever you're actually dealing with the amount of cases that you're dealing with, but not only that, but you're dealing with the economic effects of trying to prevent too many people from dying. I mean, what do we have right now? 100,000 people are dead now from this disease. I'm trying to not say that much. That won't get me that demonetized. But 170,000 people are now gone. 300,000 are infected. And again, and the only reason I'm not taking any sort of precautions is mainly, oh, there's a hurricane. They still haven't fixed that graphical glitch. One of the biggest things is, there's a second hurricane. One of the biggest things is the lockdowns, actually, because the lockdowns are actually really efficient. I need to put that to the test. So since we're in this, let's go ahead and do this. Health and Social Security. Okay, let's do police, COVID-19, and population lockdown. Let's do an entire population lockdown. Close the borders. And so then this is the tab that actually shows up whenever you start implementing these things. Mr. President, in light of your instructions to limit personal liberties because of the health risks, I must inform you of the indirect consequences regarding internal security. Crimes and offenses are expected to drop, as are terrorist attacks. And during this time in particular, if you are extremely unpopular, your position cannot be challenged. Wait. Even if you are extremely unpopular. Okay, so even if I had a very unpopular approval rating, during this time, basically the population trusts you, and they're just like, okay, well, we know what's going on. We're gonna wait. We're gonna chat. We're gonna see what happens, and then after that, then then they trust you. But then I think it's whenever it happens for too long. So if you're in a lockdown and then it starts going on for more than a couple of weeks, then people start getting restless, and then you're going to start dealing with a lot of different situations. Mr. President, in light of measures you put into place to tackle the epidemic, which will restrict personal freedoms and liberties and ultimately severely reduce economic activity in the country, I must give you a clear picture on the consequences that should come the situation continue. Oh god, I cannot read right now. Stopping part of the economy will cause a weakening or even a collapse of many businesses. First, this will impact our income, which regarding the various taxes on businesses will decline, and in the income of the population, who will see their purchasing power being reduced. Furthermore, it will also impact our expenses if the executive branch is to put measures in place that will protect our economy. In regards to this, we may, however, be reassured. Interest rates are extremely low and will not be difficult to receive loans on the international markets, and thus increase our debt and our deficit without the risk of alarming our lenders. To give you a figure, an estimated 10% additional deficit compared to what we had at the beginning of the year should be acceptable for our creditors. Should we exceed this figure, we would enter dangerous territory where the possibilities of a market panic and bankruptcy of our state cannot be excluded. So then if I actually, let's say pro, so if I actually do anything else, let me go to one place. There was one of these things, coronavirus screening tests. I have a stock now. I actually increased my stock. Let's go ahead and order another 15 million tests. Only $49 million for that. Interesting. It's going to be on 9/21. And 277,000 people. What about, let's just check some of the ICU bed situations. New York. In real life, New York actually had a very, very bad response to it, I think. They actually were running very, very low on ICU beds and ventilators. There was a whole entire issue about it, if you actually remember. So that's the situation you're gonna have to deal with, but not on a state level, but you're actually dealing with it on a national level. A lot of people are dead in California. 25,000 people have died in California. 15,000 in Texas. 500,000 patients in Texas as of right now. Let's go ahead and check more contract accepted. There is a riot in Olympia. Mars 2020. Let's go ahead and send in the army. Anything new with trade? Most likely not. Anything new with trade? Well, yeah, like everything that you can actually see. Let me actually go back and I'll show you the trading screen. Stock of test
we have
insufficient,
subdued the
Tom
rebel
Hanks
movement.
says. Uprising in Minneapolis? Is there an issue in Minneapolis? No, there's not. Tom Hanks literally keeps telling us that our tests are insufficient. You must safeguard jobs. Layoffs are increasing because of the drop in business activity is a bloodbath. Many employees are finding themselves without jobs. So if I actually go over here, so there's another option over here. So if I go over to work, regulate economic activity, we have the interruption in economic activity often accompanies the lockdown of the population. Nevertheless, essential industries must continue to operate, primarily health, food, services, security, banks, transportation, energy, water distribution, and phone companies. Telecommunicating can limit the economic impact of some degree, but it depends on the implementation of digital infrastructure and has no effect on the sectors, which is services and construction. Health regulation, which is social distancing and wearing masks, could also prove to be unfeasible for certain professions. So then the first one is no regulation of economic activity. The second one is going to be health protocols, and telecommunication is recommended. Application of strict health protocols and adapted for each economic sector, and then telecommunicating is recommended, and then you can completely cease all economic activity except in essential sectors, which is going to be health and food service. So I can actually go over here and then do a complete economic lockdown of the country, and let's see the effects of that. We must support the disabled. But if I actually go over to work again, then you can actually do solidarity aid for the less fortunate. In times of crisis, the people who are impacted the most economically are those who are already at a minimum of resources before. This certainly includes the homeless, but also the unemployed, the retired, and the students with little to no benefits. The aid is issued on an ad hoc basis on a monthly scale. So basically, I can give everyone $1,200 of money per month for economic relief. The number of people affected by economic relief would be, that is 7 million. So I would give 7.6 million people $1,200, for example. Peru seems to be leading the world in the number of COVID deaths, actually. And then if I actually go over here to implementing partial unemployment measures, current number of people potentially affected by partial unemployment in percent of the working population is going to be 6 million people, or 3.75% of the United States population. So if I actually go over here and do 100% of their, or if I actually go over here and let's do 90%. So it's going to be a budgetary cost per week. This is not per month or per year. This is going to be per week. $3.6 billion per week, just to make sure that you're able to assist people in the lockdowns that you actually are going to implement. So I can actually do that, and we're going to give people 90% of what they made just in case they lost their job due to COVID. So that provides economic security for those who need it most. We already have 400 views on this video. This is, I mean, if we get up to 1,000 views on this video on one live stream, this would be the biggest live stream I've ever held. Yeah, 77 people. Let's get up to 80 people, and then let's get up to 100 people watching this video. Right,
The decree
takes effect. So actually, the executive orders that you actually are able to sign, final of a more North American baseball health restrictions force its cancellation. They canceled the event because of COVID, so I don't know if it's supposed to do anything. So whenever you actually sign these executive orders, these things actually, they don't take 2 weeks to implement. They actually go into effect the next day. So you don't have to wait 2 weeks for your orders to actually go into effect. You can actually literally just say, hey, let's go ahead and lock down the economy, and then it's going to be, yeah, we're going to do that literally the day after. So lots of overhaul on the economy. Our cases could actually be overtaken by our number of deaths. At least this is per 1 million residents, which is around 1. 1.25 is the rate of contamination. 300,000 people currently have COVID in the United States. The actual number right now is actually like 2 million. So hopefully we can actually, I mean, if we can't get this into the millions, I mean, that would kind of be weird. But I mean, at the same time, we are on a complete total lockdown right now, so it's probably being slowed down because of the lockdown. Let's go ahead and go by a week and see what happens. This is kind of boring. Yeah, kinda. I'm having fun. I'm only trying to go through most of the features right now. See, now the deaths are about to overtake the number of cases. I'm actually about to get off of this game, and then I'm gonna start on another country, and we're actually gonna try to deal with COVID in actuality. Canada is nicer than United States, and it is in a lot of ways. Let's go ahead and check to see the situation in Canada. 2,600 cases of COVID right now in Canada. 10,000 dead, unfortunately. Yikes. Patients recovered, 126,000. 138,000 are contaminated. 7.4 million people are still contaminated with the disease in my current game right now. Number of deaths, and 30,000 people have lost their lives in California. Texas, almost 20,000. Should we have a tax on sickness? Have you gotten a new mic? I have not. Not yet. I mean, I've been using let's look and see what's going on in Brazil. I've been using the same mic for about a year and a half. It's like the Razer Siren X. Oh my god, we had a bad situation with our $322 billion in 1 quarter. Big yikes. These are like pretty large debt incursions. So I can survive up to like 15% of deficit. They really kind of like upped the social discontent, I guess, with the COVID feature. 14%. This is 248,000 deaths since the beginning of the epidemic. This is a bad outcome. We must intensify our efforts. Public opinion will not forgive us for having failed in regard to public safety. So this is around the time whenever COVID really started hitting us, and then this was the moment whenever we actually locked down. So right now, our economy is shrinking 17% as of right now. Legislative elections? Oh my god, we're already up to the election. Oh god, oh my god. The election has been happening this entire time, and I have not noticed that there was an election going on. It literally did not even stop me and say, like, hey, there's an election campaign going on. But I also do have 75 of these things right now. Let's do this. Education. Salaries, let's do 1 million teachers. It's California, Ohio. We're doing a campaign like during a pandemic, so I don't know how accepted this would be in the game. I feel like the bugs are going to be too much. I'm not buying it because the 2019 edition couldn't even save. Yikes, I'm so sorry. Police, no, not as of right now. What else? Healthcare workers. 537,000 healthcare workers. And then Illinois. Let's keep on, there's one thing I'm trying to look for, but I completely forgot where it was. It was the, minimum wage. Where was the minimum wage? That was in work. Where the heck is work? Work. There it is. Legislation, minimum wage. That got me up to 100, so that's all I really needed to do. So let's go over to political parties and do a fundraiser. 22 days donor campaign. I got that achievement. I actually got the Windows version for the first time since I've actually been playing Power and Revolution. I've always gotten the Steam version. I've always really gotten the Steam version, but in this one, I got the Windows version because it was out, and again, I really wanted to get it to you guys first. So Burke Schuster's in first place with 29%. Our intention, actually. Paula, so there's a new poll, actually. 37 to 40. We're still in the second place. Let's do Michigan. 24. And then let's do lower taxes. We're gonna promise a tax cut. $160 billion. Might help us, but I mean, the game might bug out a little bit. Not enough tests, Tom Hanks says. I don't know why it's Tom Hanks. Like, he looks exactly like Tom Hanks. I don't know who that guy's supposed to be modeled off of. What are you doing? Any word on a Steam release yet? Well, we will get it around the beginning of this coming week. %46% of the votes to Charles Schumer. And it's mostly because of our valuation. Terrible. Yeah. You think my campaign is terrible. Whatever. What are you doing? There are so many of these things that pop up. Okay, so that thing... Wait. Oh! Holy crap, there it is. Let's check on you. I've been trying to find... See, now the deaths are really starting to overtake a lot of national numbers. 219,000, almost 300,000 dead. Overseas territory. They literally have no ICU beds. That's why they were having such a hard time. Man, this game really flies by now.
The highly anticipated debate will begin in a few moments' time. The candidates are ready. So,
Alright, let's promise.
I know how
More
much
cops.
public security is a strong preoccupation.
thank you. And moving on.
And he wanted to cut public
In
safety.
these difficult times,
Really?
it is essential.
Thank you. Let's move on
Use
to
the carbon
another
tax,
issue.
but industries begin to fail.
So,
Oh, did they actually
what's
fail
your
afterward?
opinion on the matter?
Protection of the fauna.
The environmental
That didn't even get him anything.
Very well.
What is
Coming
my
over
opinion?
to you.
God, look at
Where do
Trump.
you
He's gotten
stand on
oh god,
this?
they made him really fat. They really put a lot of effort into Donald Trump on this. Budget, let's do full funding to air pollution.
The environmental safeguard.
Got us
Thank you.
barely
It's
anything.
now time.
Well, I would like.
Justice. Specific criminalization of street harassment. Let's go ahead and
Let
promise
us
that.
not delude ourselves.
You got us up to half approval.
I
Let's
would
go ahead
like
and
to
do
hear
army,
you talk.
just as a cheat measure.
Thank you. We are
Establish the duration of allowance for job seekers. He increased it to 10
In
months.
these times of crisis where poverty gains ground,
God
it is
dang
fundamental.
Dang it. Come on, Charles. What are we doing? Education? Let's do culture, family, works, minimum solidarity allowance.
It is essential in a society where the
Thank you once again.
All right,
to
that was
our
kinda half
instant
and half,
polling system
But I
has
won the debate.
designated a winner. Good evening.
Good evening. Alright. They still can't answer every question. Return on investment. I got the money back. Alright, let's go ahead and send in the troops over into Olympia. Teddy early reports a 2-meter storm tied much damage to flooding. Oh god, 399 dead just before the oh god, that might be the deciding factor in this election. 55% approval rating, and
we
there
have
is an
subdued
election.
the rebel.
This is the lowest approval rating I've ever actually been able to pull off, like, right before an election. And we already did the debate. Let's go ahead.
Good evening.
Oh god. Kentucky? Alright, let me actually mute. So you can't actually hear what's going on. You can't hear the music, but you can hear me. So that's only just to prevent myself from getting a copyright. So I want to see what happens, because this is actually probably going to be the first election in which I haven't won in a landslide. Illinois goes blue. It's going to be contested. Okay, we lost Maine. Maryland. Massachusetts. New Hampshire. Okay, New Hampshire goes blue. New Jersey. So we are in the back. Okay, so we got Oklahoma, Tennessee, Pennsylvania. We lose Pennsylvania. That was critical. Arkansas. So Charles Schumer is at 11 electoral. Is at almost 100 electoral votes. We're going up at 61. We lost Michigan. That was critical. We lost Minnesota. We did not win New York. And we lose Wisconsin. Wait, oh my god, we lost Texas. We lost Texas. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh God, no. Oh man, this is bad. We lost Iowa. We lost freaking Texas. Indiana's going blue. Yeah, we haven't even gotten Indiana yet. I bet Indiana's going to go blue. California, 317 electoral votes. Complete landslide. I mean, this has to be because of COVID. I mean, Texas, California, Florida even was actually some of the most affected areas of the country. So maybe it actually does have an effect on your election chances. Trump wins Indiana. Montana, North Carolina goes blue. North Carolina goes blue. Missouri goes blue. Ouch. 412 electoral votes to 126 electoral votes. Ow, big yikes. Big yikes. That is so funny. Oh God. Did they like custom make that for Trump? I mean, I won the debate, but yeah, popularity definitely took a toll. Probably my handling of the coronavirus. I really don't know. 74% turnout. Probably. Maybe if I can actually get a handle on COVID one time and then see how that election actually turns out, then we can actually see what happens. Apparently I have 80 people watching this. Again, let's go ahead. Let's get this up to 80 likes. We only need 3 more people to like this. Cyber attack on our party. Rumors of scandal around Republican Alliance's influential members. Wait. No. Oh, 12,000 points. God dang it. All right. Let's go ahead and pick someone else. So that was literally just me doing nothing. Yeah, that was a little boring. It actually did get boring to me. Let's look at all of these. So we have Democratic opponents, the world without COVID, 2020 presidential election, SARS-CoV mutation 3, and then we have the coronation scenario. In this chaotic world, the establishment of a royalty is tempting. Become an absolute monarch in the country of your choice. Out of 169 countries, we can actually become a monarch. And then we have Blitzkrieg, like fast lightning war scenarios, which is they call it Blitzkrieg, I guess. The first one is China versus Taiwan. At the end of the 1940s, the nationalists of the Kuomintang fled to the island of Taiwan and established their own government. China opposes this, arguing a one China policy, which asserts that all Chinese territories are a part of the People's Republic of China. As a leader of China, take advantage of the international demobilization due to the COVID-19 crisis to quickly seize the island of Taiwan. Oh, so that's what you're doing, is that all these countries are literally taking advantage of the situation of COVID and then just being like, haha, we're going to expand. Do world without COVID. As the leader of Taiwan, resists the Chinese invasion while the international community mobilizes and forces the Beijing regime to turn back. And then we have the Turkey versus Tobruk government, and then Russia versus Georgia. Actually, this is the one that interests me. In August 2008, the Russian army supported the pro-Russian separatist regions of South Ossetia and Abkhazia against Georgia, their ruling country. Since then, the two provinces have been de facto independent states, even if the majority of countries do not recognize them. As the leader of Russia, taking advantage of the international demobilization due to the COVID-19 crisis to conquer Georgia and bring it back into Russian territory as in the days of the USSR. As a leader of Georgia, resists the Russian army and their separatist allies while the international community mobilizes and forces the Moscow regime to turn back. And then United States versus Cuba. Traditional enemies since the Castro Revolution, the United States and Cuba have always had difficult relations, fluctuating at the whims of various American administrations. Since 2016 and return to power of the Republican Party, relations have become substantially strained. As the United States take advantage of the international demobilization due to the COVID-19 crisis and conquer Cuba and make it the 51st American state. Yeah, sure, okay. Sure, we're gonna make that happen. And then at the beginning of 2020, the Turkish Grand National Assembly passed a resolution authorizing the deployment of the Turkish army to Libya. It should be said that Turkey, with their eye on the petroleum deposits in Libyan waters, adamantly supports the recognized government in Tripoli against the Tobruk government, which is supported by the latest elected Libyan parliament, in which occupies almost all the rest of the country. As a leader of Turkey, take advantage of the international demobilization to move it into Libya and destroy this illegal organization. All right, let's go ahead and go over to the regular game, and let's pick a country. Or someone's telling me to do coronation, so that would be one way. Or I can literally just deal with COVID. Like, actually deal with COVID. I'm not gonna, like, mess around and let it do anything. So we have Russia. We have 2 votes for Russia. Play more than one country. Coronation. We have a lot of suggestions for coronation. Alright, let's go ahead and try coronation then. In this chaotic world, the establishment of a royalty is tempting. Become an absolute monarch in the country of your choice. Alright, let's go ahead and do this as France. France. Alright. When is release? It is going to be sometime at the beginning of this week. That's all I read on their website. I think by Tuesday we'll get it on Steam. Yeah, that's around Tuesdays whenever we're most likely gonna get it on Steam.
During the holiday season, the head of state and his family have decided to take a vacation to go sightseeing in the French capital. They visited the Hôtel des Invalides to pay their respects at the tomb of Napoleon. It's a choice which can appear curious, but is not surprising to those closest to them. One of them, on the condition of anonymity, recently confided to us that the head of state has always had a fascination with crowned heads of state, and that he would have liked to have lived in the Renaissance as an enlightened monarch. After some days of relaxation, the head of state has made plans to meet with constitutional experts to discuss, and I quote, the possibility of rearranging the Constitution in a massive project of societal renewal aimed at establishing a more direct link between the chief executive and the people. More information as it comes.
All right. So let's go ahead and reestablish the monarchy in here. So this is going to be nomination. Where are we going to be able to do this from? So 2 turns. So that's the Constitution. Oh my god, they changed the name of Congo. That's awesome. DR Congo. That's literally like saves it from like being all across the continent of Africa. Parliament. Consultative role. Constitutional experts, and I don't even know
I must.
where it's coming from. Why haven't you changed your name to PG yet? On the game? Are you talking about on the game? Because I don't want to. I mean, yeah, I could have. I could have made it like King PG or some shit. What's going on with COVID? Hang on. No issues with COVID right now. I guess. Is there? There's no COVID. I mean, not yet. We're watching you, China. We got nukes. Emptiness in the labs. I have a lot of empty space in the labs, a bit too much, even if they're working together. They're very good. Research would advance more quickly if our labs were running out of steam. Man, it's either one way or the other. God dang. What if for 2021 they release a bug fix update and that's it? That's it. Yeah, I know. Go to country tab. Okay. Country. Ah. Change the name of the national anthem. So that's... I would have to put another thing in there. Change the name of the country flag. Choose new capital. Albanian. Who the heck is this? Stephanie Hogger? Whoever doesn't play this game anymore, I have 2019. Can you give it to me? No. Where else am I not looking? I'm waiting for like someone to pop up. Like it's been 11 days. Liberties. Parliament. Cabinet? No. EU Summit 12. Oh, it's 2021. The ICC elections? Program. 5-year head of state term. Voting age. 1 turn. Majority. Reduced contributions. Yeah, we can actually change the national anthem. So, if anyone wants to suggest like another song, hell yeah. Trying to find religions. Congratulate a religion. Sect. Unions. Political parties. Change it to the Royalist Party, I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out how to... Is verdict within
1 week,
week
before the beginning of the festival.
Change political party. Let's do this. There's a royalist. Most regrettable. Yes, sir. Fresh start. France Monarchist Party. So then let's...
It's your special duty to create a new...
Yeah, let's go ahead and give that special duty over to you. In the name of my government, Djibouti wants us out. Oh, it's because I changed my political party. Let's... Semi-presidential... Royalist Party. They probably just saw the change of government and they're just like, nope, we don't want you in here, get out. Speaking of, let's go ahead and do an actual withdrawal. We only have 95 troops over there. We already have a Minister for Homeland Security. Government elections? No? Organizations, AIDS, United Nations, WHO, culture. If anyone can help me out, start suffocating civil liberties. Like in an absolute monarchy. I mean, I wish there was a freaking guide on this. OMG, they made it better. How so? Summit meeting.
Listen,
34% approval rating. How am I going to get these constitutional reforms passed? God dang it. Alliance de Lorraine. I wish that was a region so Germany could take it. Set the election of the head of state to appointed for life. I mean, with the 34% approval rating, I guess. Let's see what happens. Head of state, nomination, appointed for life. Nope.
The situation is getting worse.
Yeah, let's go ahead and resign. We'll come back to it. Lot of civil unrest. Oh god, look at all these parties. I say parties. Yeah. Declare martial law before doing it? Yeah, I should have done that. Oh, yeah. Alright. Let's go to new game. SARS-CoV-3. So this is like a more infectious one. Then we have Coronation, World Without COVID, Blitzkrieg, Revolutions, Opposition, Independence Movements. Let's go ahead and do World with COVID, and then let's pick another country. Let's be... Turkey. Okay, we've got a couple of suggestions as Russia. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and do Russia. Instead of Turkey, let's do Russia. Oh my god, he's bald. Alright, let's go ahead and do it. Boris Johnson, this pandemic has inflicted permanent scars and we mourn everyone that we have lost. guess I'm gonna go ahead and get 2020 now. Have fun, hell yeah. You need any help? Go ahead and consult the Discord. Alright, let's go ahead and just keep tabs on the situation that's going on in China. 31 active cases in Wuhan right now. And I like how it does go day by day. It actually does go day by day. This is the first time I've ever seen a graph in Power and Revolution like go day by day instead of like month by month. You always had it. The only other thing that was like that, it was like a what was it? It was a stock market. The stock market was the only other thing that was calculated day by day. Close the border and try to stay with 0 cases. Depends on how... Now let's... For one thing, I swear to God, let's go ahead and get rid of all of these notifications. I need to really, like, keep tabs on these situations. Change the anthem to... I don't even... You have to have a... you have to have something in there. Why is it telling... Why am I losing approval whenever I have an excess? Unless I had a very big excess and then I lost it. Let's trade with China just so we can get more cases, I swear. Okay, there is the message that I like. This one right here. There's one ultimate solution to global warming. Nuclear fusion. Fusion power plants will produce much more energy than fission with very little fuel and, best of all, without producing radioactive waste. If we succeed in developing such a reactor, we will have the holy grail of energy production. A source of prosperity and security not only for our nation, but also for the planet. By heavily investing in this research, we can hope to turn this dream into a reality. So, let me actually go ahead and invest in that. I want to see how soon I can actually get my hands on it. Try to kill all of your population. That's kind of harsh. There is actually a brand new search tree. It is called bacteriology. If I'm saying that correctly. Then you have several different vaccines and treatments for COVID. So the first one is going to be an antiviral treatment for COVID-19. It is an effective treatment for the COVID-19 virus. And then you need, so your probable outcome is going to be between 2033 and 2039. Technology allows proven deploying activity and activities, antiviral treatment for COVID-19. And then the actual vaccine for COVID-19. And then we have the antiviral treatment for SARS-CoV-2. And then we have SARS-CoV-2 vaccine. So, those are the new ones. Let me actually go over to energy. Cold fusion, carbon nanofiber. Let's go to matter sciences. Nuclear fusion. 2029 and 2034 process for triggering and controlling nuclear fusion reactions which produce a large amount of energy. And then we have the fusion reactor, nuclear power fusion reactor, and then fusion powered electricity. So it creates a brand new economic sector actually for us. Any point in researching now? Yeah, for fusion nuclear power is going to be the biggest one. Let's go ahead and up our manpower, actually. Let's max it out at 88,000 and do full funding to matter sciences. Let's go ahead and keep going and see what happens. 100 cases now in the People's Republic of China. Animal maneuvers. Now our estimated risk of failure of 26%. That's Mercury P. So as soon as we get the first case, I'm immediately going to start taking precautions. Actually, what I really need to do, since I know there's a situation, I'm going to go ahead... Medical respirators, masks. Let's go ahead and buy a massive amount of masks. Russia. Let's buy 5 million. It's going to be done by February 8th. Get rid of that song. So that's 5 million masks. We have 4.8 million masks right now. Medical respirator masks, 2.4 million. So let's go ahead and buy... We can only buy medical respirators from China, Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam. We trust China enough, so let's go ahead and buy about 1 million masks from them. So it's going to up our stock to about 3.4 million. Documentary on healthcare banned. Crisis and torment, which criticizes the poor healthcare level of the country. Wow, we are very vulnerable. We are very vulnerable. SARS-CoV-2 is supposed to say not 3. No. It is actually supposed to say 3 because basically it's for not only are you going to deal with COVID, possibly you are probably, whenever you kind of like go on for a couple of years, you're going to have a mutation around years 2022, 2023, and then you're going to have to deal with another pandemic. So it's meant to say SARS-CoV-3. So it's SARS-CoV-2 is COVID-19. SARS-CoV-3 is basically the theoretical mutation that Eversim is possibly predicting could happen in the future. So about 2 years from now, if they actually declare another pandemic and call it SARS-CoV-3, that is going to be on Eversim for predicting that. Contract accepted. Awesome. That means we are going to be able to up our stocks. By February 10th, we're going to be able to up our stocks of masks and more. So let's go ahead and do a couple of strategic moves. Let's go ahead and, for one thing, subsidize farming. $50 million for each economic sector. I just joined. Has something related to the economy changed? A lot of things have changed to the economy. A lot of controls that you can actually do to prevent outbreaks of the coronavirus. Let's elections, health, ICU beds. Let's go ahead and get about 80 brand new hospitals. We're going to get them done in 5 months. You know what? Let's do 100 new hospitals. $2,000, $27 billion. Took a little bit of a chunk off, but I think we can deal with it. We have 29,000 ICU beds in the Russian Federation. So since we are actually building another 100 hospitals, then we're gonna have at least over 30,000 ICU beds at the numbers, if the numbers are correct. I don't know how many. You know what? That's actually going to have to be something I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and calculate. Whenever I actually make a video for this at all, I'm gonna try to calculate how many. What do you call it? I'm gonna try to calculate how many ICU beds are actually for each hospital. Check the situation. No cases so far in the Russian Federation. Looks like it is now on an increase. 1,300, 1,400 cases of COVID right now in China. 3 people have died, 34 severe cases. 269 have recovered, and there are 1,600 people contaminated with it. Very good ICU bed numbers. It has an R naught of 4. So let's go ahead and play this and just continue to watch the situation. Again, I'm really going to try to get a number on this situation before we actually get hit, so we're going to be taking a lot of precautions. Number of amount on order, so 1 million are on order right now. Let's call for another 3 million from China. And then regular respirator masks for the general public. Let's go ahead and buy our own stock. So we have 5 million on order. Let's go ahead and order another 5 million. We're going to get that done by 2/11. So then, police, there's no, because we don't have coronavirus in the country yet, there are very limited precautions you can actually take. $2,400 cases now in China. It's in Hubei, Beijing, and now Guangdong. Now it's spreading across China. Almost 5,000 cases. Active, 5,500 cases now. It's too much red, man, don't you think? Where's the red?
We have detected a patient carrying the virus.
And now
Tests
we
were
finally
performed
get
twice to be
the
sure,
first
but there
one.
is absolutely no doubt. Faced with this
Okay, I
unknown
really
virus,
need to get a lot of tests.
even if there's no reason to be alarmed for the moment, we should nevertheless remain vigilant and have the means to react quickly if need be. To this end, we have put together a veritable arsenal of measures in the ministries relevant to an eventual epidemic, that being health, police, labor, and in the various economic sectors. This situation can potentially become a health emergency. You can put all of these measures in place, even by executive order and without passing.
All right, so let's see. So of course, it's a region that is bordering China. Contract accepted by both national figures. So masks are now on the way. Just in time as we get our first coronavirus case. Long live the king. Oh yeah, let's bring the Tsardom back to Russia. That could actually be a series, actually. I can actually bring the Tsardom back. I'm gonna bring back the Tsar. Tsar Putin. Hell yeah. Let's go ahead and come over here to police. COVID-19. Borders. Borders. Closing the borders in Nintendo to avoid bringing the virus into the country by contaminated people abroad, whether they are citizens of the country or not. Health protocols could involve a questionnaire about recently traveled places by the person entering the country, and by taking their temperature. In the event of a quarantine, then the person can be placed in a hotel or required to wear an electronic monitoring device. Don't know if that actually happened. The sectors mainly affected by this restrictions are travel agencies and the tourism industry. So border crossings are subject to health protocols, and quarantine is required for suspected travelers. Let's all contaminated regions. Let's go ahead and do the whole country under that protocol.
We are now updating figures on the spread of this epidemic on a daily basis.
Tom Hanks is updating us. Let's look. Got 1 case so far. This is in the Zabayaletsky region. Let's continue to monitor the situation, just to make sure it doesn't start spreading anywhere else. Just in case. And there's another region. Okay, budgetary consequences, I already know this. Tumenskaya has a case, but now it's gone. So it's a low severity level threat. This one's a medium threat. There's 2 cases of it in there, so there's only 2 cases in Russia. Has it spread to any other countries? Most likely. Yeah, it spread to Germany, the United Kingdom, France, Washington State in the United States. It spread to Australia. Thailand, India has a couple of cases. Let's see how many cases there are worldwide. 18,000 cases worldwide. Most of those are very likely in China. Yeah, most of them are very, very much in China. Looks like we actually are eliminated ourselves. So we have no active cases of coronavirus in the Russian Federation, but we do still have 2 contaminated patients. So while we do that, actually, I just remembered, let's go over to police. Closing of the borders, we already are doing border crossing checkpoints. Let's do health and social. Coronavirus screening tests. Purchase contract. Let's buy from ourselves. And let's do 2.5 million cases. 2.5 million tests, actually. So then I don't think we need any hospitals yet. Situations in these areas are not critical. They're not using all of their ICU beds. So that's the only thing that you really, really want to pay attention to, is how many ICU beds are being used. Because if you can actually keep the deaths down, then you're probably going to lower the severity of the actual pandemic. So it looks like we actually eliminated it right now. 2 people have recovered, contaminated 2 people. So that's cumulative. So that means, like, even after they have recovered from it, then that means they're, so I guess they're not contaminated. So it's if it's 2 and then patients recovered is 2, then 2 plus 2 equals 4. So hey, what's going on, AMN? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the 2020 edition. If you guys are watching this right now, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Can you ban travel to and from China or any country? No, it looks like it's only going to be it's going to be like the broad public policy that you actually have. So if I go over here, it's going to be the regulation itself. So regulation on the closing of the borders, so there's no regulation. Or you can go to border crossings from, and this is applied to any of these. So then I could do heavily contaminated regions only. Let's go ahead and pause this. Nationwide travel, I could stop nationwide travel. Use of public transport. Okay, so the closing of borders. So I have border crossings are subject to health protocols and quarantine is required for suspected travelers. So that means that if someone comes back and then they actually have COVID, then I am mandating that they have to quarantine. So I guess that's the first thing that you have to do just in case. And I mean, we haven't had any cases in over a week. It's about the end of February, so this is around the time whenever it really, really started getting bad in real life. I know you can close borders with other nations, not any particular one. Yeah, you can close your borders, but it's not going to be against any specific country. You can't ban it from China, which, I mean, that could have been a good one. 2.5 million tests are now on the way. It looks like we're going to get those by the 4th of ICU beds, 29,710. Coronavirus screening tests, 2.5 million are now on the way. So So we have 121,000 at the beginning of the game, and 2.5 million. You can buy these from yourselves. Date of stock out, NA. Estimated amount needed in 2 weeks, and then it's going to show you all the numbers whenever you really start having a really bad situation. Then these numbers are really going to start going up, and that's whenever you really, really need to start recurring buying these coronavirus tests. Respirator for the public. We have 14 million in our stock now. Really, really need to just spam contracts just to make sure that you're able to get enough of these things just to maintain it. Let's go ahead and go for about 5 million more of these masks. I like how I'm importing these from China. Man, I'm so excited for this version. So many features I've wanted for nearly half a decade. I know, right? I love it. Contract has been accepted, so we have another 5 million tests on the way. Population lockdown, nationwide travel, use of public transport, closing of the borders. Closing of the borders is kind of figured the situation out. At least for now. No ICU bed issue. Okay, we got another person that is active with COVID. It's outside of Moscow. Is that the Moscow region? Yeah, that is the Moscow region. So someone in Moscow now has it. So that is a biggie. That is a big one, big one, big one. Moscow and St. Petersburg are now having outbreaks. Someone just traveled from one of these regions or came from another country. So probably not China. There's probably a really, really high level outbreak somewhere. 20,000 active cases right now, 3,000, 4,000 dead. Wow, that one jumped like 500 just now. Got over 1,000 cases in France and Germany. 1,000 cases in the United States. All over the West Coast. Okay, now it's starting to actually. So it is randomly generated. So it starts off in Washington, and then it's gonna kind of just do its own thing whenever it starts spreading across. It goes to New York, and then it goes to Washington, and then it goes starts spreading across these areas right here, and then New York actually gets hit pretty early. $42 cases of the coronavirus in the Russian Federation. We're going to have to ban nationwide travel while you still can. How much does it cost? This thing costed 50? Oh god, we're approaching 100 cases. We really need to clamp down. Cyber attack in our country.
Trace the source of the
we're buying things from China and they want to do that to us, really? Okay. Health. So Russia's not even high right now. 14 million masks. 11 million respirators. Let's go ahead and build up one more. We're going to buy another 10 million masks from China. The population will think, okay, 100 cases, we don't need to shut down everything, which actually I'm not going to shut down everything. It's going to kind of be like a step-by-step process. So if I actually... I'm going to ignore into that. How many cases are we at right now? 136, and there is a... It's centered around the St. Petersburg area, actually. 35 cases, 2 cases, and 1 case. And then in the Moscow region, 100 cases alone. Okay, so let's go over to police. Let's limit gatherings. Stop. No. Wait. No, let's go back. Nationwide travel. Less than 100 kilometers. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that kind of shutdown yet. What do we need to do? What's the best course of action? Reduce classes for all grade levels with health protocols. Okay, let's go ahead and do that for the entire country. Closing recommended. Opening permitted while following health protocols. Cafes, restaurants, and bars. So let's do that. Opening permitted while following health protocols. Businesses, follow health protocols. That's going to be... These are for the entire country. Bad figures for unemployment. We're going to have to get a grasp on that situation as well. China got our 10 million masks. So we got 3 legislations to follow health protocols. Implementing restrictions in schools in certain regions. The headache of health protocols. It would have been better if they had given us the necessary time to put these inherently complicated protocols in place. We don't really enjoy having to review our organization in a panic. Our teachers will make their best efforts, but they will have to work to remember everything when the time comes. So we're not in a situation where it is an issue right now, but it is going to become an issue. $286 cases of COVID so far. Ban public gatherings. Watching a video and think that this whole pandemic feature should have been a vanilla thing in 2016. In 2016? I mean, it wouldn't have been relevant at the time. I mean, even then, Ebola is not that much of a... Moscow Film Festival has been rescheduled. But yeah, the Ebola becoming a pandemic is actually very unlikely because it kills you so fast that it can't spread effectively. Like, I mean, there would have to be an outbreak of Ebola like in a major city somewhere in Europe, in the United States, in New York, Washington, Los Angeles, in one of the cities in which, I mean, there's a lot of people, and it wouldn't become a pandemic because by the time everyone would start noticing it, if we took the same precautions that we did with coronavirus, and then we implemented that with a outbreak of Ebola, you wouldn't be able to do much because it would literally kill itself off, because it kills the people it infects so quickly that it wouldn't spread effectively. That's why it barely even is able to spread. That's literally why it only killed about 15,000 people in that 2015 outbreak in West Africa back about 5 years ago. That's the only reason why, is because it was killing so many people so fast, is that it couldn't spread. So Ebola wouldn't have made sense even if they implemented it, because it doesn't have the same infectivity rate as coronavirus. Coronavirus is special because it can spread so fast without showing symptoms. I mean, the possibility to fight and create different bacterial diseases, not only coronavirus, which edition 2020 is about. Yeah, I completely understand, but I mean, there wouldn't have been an effective a thing to make it relevant in the game. They basically would have given you a pandemic feature without any relevance. It wasn't relevant at the time. The reason they delayed, I mean, the reason they would have released the 2020 edition around April or May if the coronavirus hadn't have happened. If the coronavirus had not happened, they would not have delayed it. The only reason that Eversim actually delayed this game is because they wanted to implement this feature. That's actually why it took so long, is because they were just like, okay, this is happening right now, let's go ahead and make a feature for it. So, I mean, it's a welcome addition. I'm actually having fun actually guiding public policy, trying to get these cases down. I am in doubt this virus is Hunan made. Are you saying Wuhan? Ban all public gatherings on more than 100 people. Yes, I need to do that. COVID-19. Regulate economic activity. Application of strict health protocols and adapted for each economic sector. Telecommunicating is recommended. Health protocols and telecommunicating is recommended. Let's go ahead and do that for the entire country. We're not going to do any lockdowns yet. I'm not going to lock down. If we get over 5,000 cases, then I think I am going to implement a lockdown. 785 cases. Let's go over here. No, it's... See, I always forget where these things are. Schools, cafes, restaurants, population lockdown. Okay, let's actually do this. Lockdown. Strongly recommended for people at risk in care homes. Let's do that for the entire country. Borders closed for citizens of at-risk countries. Okay, that's another one. I want to see if I can get my entire country the coronavirus. You actually can. You actually really can. Gatherings. Ban on gatherings of more than... Let's do 1,000 people throughout the entire country. Regulation of economic activity.
The preparation.
We're going to refuse that just because of the coronavirus.
The decree
The amount of times I'm saying coronavirus in 2 hours is probably astronomical. Again, I'm probably gonna get demonetized for this. Again, for those who are watching right now, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to see more Power and Revolution 2020 edition content, please let me know. We got a $15 billion surplus even though we're going through an economic catastrophe? Man, the Prime Minister of Japan really wants to invite a lot of people. I get a meeting from him as the United States. Italy is really bad right now. Ouch, Italy. 38,000 people infected. 10 people are dead in San Marino. No cases so far in Vatican City. In the Russian Federation, 2,100 people are infected with the coronavirus. In Moscow, don't have an issue with the ICU beds right now, but we do have over 1,000 cases. Surprisingly, it's not in Primorsky. That is the region in which Vladivostok is actually in. A lot of the Caucasus region, no coronavirus cases so far. But we are suffering a big spike in coronavirus cases at the moment. Let's go ahead and go over to police. Well, actually, let's go over to health, coronavirus. 29,710. Hard to say slow death rates. So COVID is not that deadly. No, I mean, COVID is not that deadly in real life. I mean, how many are dead now? I mean, 2,967 cases right now. That's 20.3 per 1 million. 10 people have died. That's 0.1. Severe cases, 65. We have 65 severe cases of COVID, and 1,260 people have recovered from it. And then we have 4,236 people that are contaminated. But again, this actually does include the number of recovered. So anything above this number right here, these people are still susceptible to infecting other people. but less than 1% IRL actually have reportedly have the virus. Less than 1% of the world? Don't be too scared of it. It's not about that. Food service, there's a food service approval rating. Businesses, COVID, all of it's COVID related. Health protocols still required in restaurants, bars, and cafes of certain regions. This is starting to take a long time. I was at a restaurant the other day, and I confess that all those precautions killed the mood a little, especially for business lunches. Have you ever tried to do a business through glass? Frankly, it's not ideal. Ultimately, it would be nice to end this whole thing quickly. Let's look at our situation. 5,000 cases. Let's go ahead and go on a total, let's go ahead and do something. Still subject to health regulations. Let's look at this. 150,000 is going to be needed in the next 2 weeks. Let's go ahead and buy more for ourselves. We're going to buy a lot. Like a lot. What do we got? 2.5 million screening tests. 150,000 needed in the next 2 weeks. So let's buy 10 million. Let's buy 10 million coronavirus testing kits. Russia. There we are. Let's do 15 million actually. That's going to be done in about a month actually. What about 10 million? Nah, we can do 5, 3. What about 20 million? That's literally a day. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get 20 million coronavirus testing kits. You can't be sad for a family dying 1 second and want to bleach the whole population the next. Jesus Christ.
Good morning. I didn't
Summit meeting. Sodas. You really just wasted all this time just so you could sell me some sodas? No, sir. Sorry.
My
Perspective analysis.
Alright, let's say no. Is thinking like the most government would do next strict laws if coronavirus is increasing, and that is the bad government should apply more very strict laws. Yeah, see, that's actually what I was thinking, is that I was actually probably being, I'm still probably being way too minimalistic. I'm probably underreacting. So yeah, it's starting to get worse. 10,000 cases, it's still going up. I mean, in the United States, it was like a one spike and then down and then up again, and then now this one, it's just like as soon as we get all these cases, it's just going up. 10,000 cases. Let's see how many cases we get in the next day. Oh my god, that just got worse. We got 2,000 more cases. Let's go ahead and check the situation in these regions. Okay, so there may be a couple of small regions that don't have that many ICU beds. So I really need to pay attention to those. ICU beds available. So we're using 237 of our ICU beds. And it's starting to spread into the Caucasus region, so we need to stop the spread. Let's do this. Health and security. Coronavirus testing. So we have 20 million more on the way. So we're good on testing, actually. 342,000. So 20 million, actually. That's a great number. That's a great number. So it looks like we are going to go on a lockdown. Can't really... region most overcrowded, so okay, so that's going to be something we need to pay attention to. Number of regions with overcrowding is 0. So if there is overcrowding, percent of occupancy in the entire country, 0.01%. Policy on the distribution of high protection masks, which is FFP2 N95s and KN95s. Let's go ahead and do current stock 21.4 million, reserved for healthcare personnel. Which, actually, no regulation. So I'm actually keeping a very close eye on that and increasing my numbers whenever I actually need to. 14 million, current number. Can I do a mask policy, test policy, actually? So, oh, hang on, actually, I can do this. Let's order another 20 million. Let's order another 20 million of these coronavirus kits. 20 million. And we're going to change the test policy. People presenting with symptoms, and their families, healthcare workers every week, and preceding lines. So preceding lines is basically like this one, and then all the above. Care home personnel every week, individuals exposed to the public. So let's do healthcare providers, and then the preceding lines. Let's do that for the entire country. And then, policy on distribution wearing a mask in public. Reserved for sectors exposed to the public, businesses, and preceding lines. Let's do a full national face mask policy. So we're going to be using a lot of these masks. So we need to make sure that we have the ability to pay and have them in stock. We only have 2 million so far, and we have like 40 million on the way. Negative 5% growth rate, so our economy is suffering from this. And again, guys, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Super chatting is always appreciated. I probably am not going to be able to monetize this because it has to do with the coronavirus. So again, doing super chats and becoming a member could actually be appreciated. I really, really do appreciate it anytime that someone does that. Contract has been accepted. Shortage of masks. We're on top of the situation with the masks, so we don't have to worry about that. Businesses and population lockdown. Controlled lockdown for the entire population with strict regulations for going out. Let's do a lockdown recommendation for the entire population. We're not going to use the government. Gatherings of more than 10,000 people are still banned. Yeah, of course. People at risk are just urged to self-quarantine in certain regions. Fed up. So yeah, now everyone's starting to get frustrated with the emptiness in the labs. Yeah, I mean, that's good.
The decree takes effect as of
And this
today.
is what happens whenever you really start having your situation go about. You have these people start wearing face masks. So on the whenever they actually show up.
Prospective analysis,
yeah, see,
coupled with
even
the
your
Brown model
director
on
of
group
national intelligence, he's
has allowed
going
us to identify
to start wearing a mask. This game is fun. Mask, interesting. Start exonerating industries. So actually, since you said that, let's go ahead and look at the brand new feature for economic sectors. So if I wanted to help out a certain sector, let's go over to services. So services is definitely going to be the most affected by your coronavirus lockdown. So if you want what you can do is I can actually go over here, go to fast food, and then I can go over to coronavirus. COVID-19. It's going to be the next option. Then you can actually, instead of giving them subsidies, or even you could actually exonerate them, because that would help them in getting, it provides them tax relief. So you're providing them tax relief. But not only can you exonerate them, you can financially support them. In order to preserve economic activity in the country, the state can take action by boosting cash flow with subsidies for sectors impacted most by the health crisis. These subsidies will allow businesses who have seen a decline in production and revenue to meet their needs until business resumes. By comparing the national sales projections and profits for the year compared to those of the previous year, we can measure the effects of this health crisis on the sector. So fast food in the Russian Federation estimated 2020 sales in billions was $100 million. In 2019 it was $130 million. So we are seeing a productivity loss of about $30 million to the fast food sector. So if I wanted to get involved, then I could actually give them, let's say, $50 million. So that's an executive action, and it probably is going to take about a day to get into effect. Stock of tests insufficient? Hang on. Oh, it's because we haven't gotten our 40 million tests yet. So yeah, sales are going down? Are they going down or up? Estimated. Economic relief, so it shows you how much relief you've already issued to them. So these are basically bailouts to the sectors that the state can provide. Stock of tests are insufficient.
This is serious.
So we are very, very low, critically low on coronavirus tests. So let's check our situation. 174,000 tests. We have 40 million on the way. We are about to use 5.6 million tests over the next couple of weeks. So we need to buy more. We need to buy more. We need to make sure that we have the sufficient amount of tests. Let's go ahead and order another 40 million. That's going to take until May 19th. Health protocols still required in restaurants? Yes, they are.
The decree takes.
I'm curious if the annexing bug is fixed, how the population growth is calculated after annexing some big countries. I mean, I wouldn't say that's unrealistic, because the population would change if you actually took over a large country. Contract rejected? The order volume is too large, so I can get 20 million but not 40 million?
The decree takes.
Cybersecurity, let's check the situation in Russia. Almost all regions except for Ossetia and Crimea are suffering from the coronavirus. We actually hit a peak. 27,000 active cases of coronavirus so far. Hopefully we can actually get a handle on this crisis. How many are dead? 380. Let's keep that below 10,000. I want to keep that below 10. Patients recovered. Let's go to health, and let's make sure there's no overcrowding. Belgium is suffering from a large outbreak. The Ukraine is having an outbreak. Germany, 13,000. Spain, 31,000. Italy, 17,000. Let's look at Belgium, 6,700 coronavirus cases. Ossetia just got its first case. 79 cases now in that region. Crimea is now the only one that is not suffering from the coronavirus. What I should have done earlier... I should have done this. Test policy, well, where is... 2 million masks needed in the next week. Let's go ahead and buy more. Get that done by 5/18. Respirator mask for the general public, and then medical masks. 21 million. Not really needing anything in the next couple of weeks. We're going to need 6 million more coronavirus tests. We're out of coronavirus tests, actually. But we have 40 million on the way. So we're out of tests. We're currently running in the blind right now. We're not going to get any tests until the next... Actually, we're going to get them in a couple of days. So, since we have that, let's go ahead and get another 20 million done. We're going to get that done by the end of the month. $43,000 cases of coronavirus. What about China? What's going on there? 56 cases over there. United States, 188,000 infected, 27,000 dead. United Kingdom, 33,000. 16,000 are dead out of 33,000. 121,000 have recovered. Very deadly outbreak in the United Kingdom. 2,800. Germany, 6,200. Very deadly in Germany as well. 29 dead in Kazakhstan. Is barely spreading in Mongolia. North Korea, there's a couple of regions that are actually infected. 2 people have died in North Korea. South Korea, 58. We had two severe cases, 221 dead. What about Japan? 1,470. If coronavirus is as strong as SARS, we will see 10 times infected and dead from coronavirus. Speaking of coronavirus, I'm coughing. Number of deaths. Let's look at the number of dead. Almost 1,000 cases. 1,000 people dead. 160 dead in Moscow. Some of the largest regions. For some reason, it's extra deadly in one of the least populous regions. But, I mean, least populous, I mean, the more people get infected in this region, the higher it's going to go in proportion to, like, per 1 million. Patients infected, 824 out of 1 million, 2,300 in that region. 2,300 out of 3 million. Gatherings of more than 10,000 people still banned in certain regions. Yes. If you want the national culture to die, then don't change anything. You're on the right track. God, I hate the sarcasm in this game. 69 viewers, hell yeah. Coronavirus epidemic, the milestone of 1,000 deaths has been surpassed by the Russian Federation. So that is, again, a very grim milestone reached by the Russians. Not a milestone we did want to reach, but unfortunately we did have to reach it. People are not liking the lockdown. Let's go ahead. Let's COVID industries. Let's subsidize agriculture. Oh my god, I haven't subsidized agriculture. Let's do $80 million to that. Got us another 6%. Media will have a field day with that. Stock of test insufficient, so we are still having a crisis with our coronavirus tests. So we have 18 million now. 11 million! Holy hell. Okay, let's lean back. Okay, let's... Adaptation of intensive care units.
In view of the spread of this epidemic, we have requested that all medical establishments find immediate pragmatic solutions to substantially increase the number of ICU beds. I will get back to you shortly.
Alright, I just got into the 2019 when a YouTuber played it as a joke, but I found the game really fun. I totally remember Whenever Grace Still Plays actually played Power and Revolution, my channel exploded. Like, I remember whenever he played it, and I was like, holy hell, that's a pretty big channel playing such a small game. And I'm like, cool. And then the very next day, like, actually, not even the very next day, I noticed it the day of. I noticed how many people started subscribing to my channel and started coming to some of my videos. And Grace Still Plays gave me one of the biggest boosts of my channel. And it actually, I think it pushed me over 2,000 subscribers, actually. Like, as soon as he made that video, like, I got, like, 300 subscribers just by him making that video. And then he made another one, and I got another boost. And then someone else actually made it. I think it was, it wasn't Grace Still Plays, but it was the other guy, Drew Donnell. Drew Donnell. I watched Drew Donnell, and I love him. And he made a video about this game, and he got, and he sent more people to my channel. So I definitely thank those larger YouTubers for sending a lot of people to me, because I do make this dedicated content for Power and Revolution. Healthcare providers, God, we're using so many tests a week. We really, okay, here's an idea. Let's do 20 million tests, and let's do it 5 times. That's 40. That's 60. That's 80. So we got 80 million tests coming in. I don't know why I'm using 11 million tests. I mean, that's a lot of tests. I mean, that has to be a lot of people who are just literally just going to the doctor because they're just like coughing or something like that. And then I guess Eversim might be accounting for that, because there are a lot of people who are just like, just privately go to the doctor, don't say anything, and they're just like, hey, I think I have COVID. Then they get tested for COVID. And so we're trying to make sure that our numbers can actually handle that, because we're using 11 million tests every 2 weeks, 13 million tests. I only have 34 million left. We have 100 million tests on the way. Let's increase that number to 150 million. Let's see if I can get 25 million. It wouldn't let us get 40 million, but I think we're going to be able to get 25 million. Sabaus, I remember whenever Sabaus actually made that. If I'm saying his name wrong, I'm totally sorry, but I definitely remember whenever he made that, and he definitely made a couple of really interesting series off of it. 25 million, let's go ahead, do that. We have 786 people who have watched this live stream so far. This is a large live stream. This is 100 likes. We have 100 likes on this video. Thank you all for doing this. This is the largest live stream I have ever held before. I mean, well, actually, what was that? What was that? Indy 500 has been rescheduled. Health protocols still required. This is starting to take a long time. Like, you're not gonna like it. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
He's wearing a mask because he has to. I like how they did implement that. Okay, so we got 25. We got 50 million tests now on the way. Let's go over here. Let's look. 15 million masks are on the way for the public. Oh, oh God, we're gonna be using a lot of them. We gotta get a couple more million. I guess this is literally just you just buying like tons of masks for your citizens. All right, let's go to the next day. I do watch Drew Darnell. Yeah, Drew Darnell actually made 1 or 2, maybe 3 videos on Power and Revolution, and he's pretty funny. He's really cool, and I like the way he played. And I wish I could do something like that. I wish I kind of knew how to be like that. The only way I know is kind of like to just be formal and just kind of like lead the country through what I think it would do. Like that's the way I play. Like I play in terms of just trying to lead the country through what I feel like it would do. Cases are still underway, down 60,000 cases, and now we are seeing some cases in Crimea. Does the game feel less buggy than Power and Revolution 2019? I haven't run into any bugs so far, and I'm in May. Oh, right, we don't have an election. Election was last year? No, it was 2018? Next presidential election, 2016. That was the parliamentary election. Presidential election 2024. Was the Russian presidential election in 2018 or 2019? Oh, it was in 2018. That was probably whenever the French election was actually in. Signs of decreasing popularity.
My services have reported a remarkable reduction.
Yeah, I wonder why. Increase in number of ICU beds by 30%.
In response to our appeal, hospitals have taken action and, by reorganizing their facilities, have succeeded in increasing the number of beds in their intensive care units.
Nice.
Which will be very useful if this epidemic reaches a critical stage.
I mean, this is one of the things about coronavirus in this game. I mean, I'm not even at the critical stage. I have very good relations with the Republic of India. ICU beds. We got 10,000 ICU beds because of that policy that the government instituted. So that really, really helps. Coronavirus. 57,000 cases. We're kind of leveling off. Severe cases, we're still able to take care of them. 5,100 people have lost their lives. Let's see what's going on in Moscow. 52,000. This is all literally in Moscow. Hang on. Okay, there was literally a policy I was supposed to implement earlier. Okay, for one thing, ban on gatherings of more than 100 people. Let's do it for the entire country. Businesses. Closing of all businesses except for grocery stores and pharmacies. I really, really don't want to wreck this economy. Nationwide travel. Okay. Travel less than 1 kilometer of residence except for essential. Let's do the heavily contaminated regions only. For that. That is one of the most restrictive measures that I can do. Less than 1 kilometer distance from the residence except for essential reasons. So let's go ahead and confirm that. Let's do that in the most affected regions. Because if 55,000 cases are literally only in Moscow, then that means the entire epidemic in Russia is centered in only, what, Leningrad and Moscow. Let's see, 9,000 infect. I mean, there's a lot of other. 55,000 in Russia. I don't know if that number's off or something like that. 6,000? What? 54,000 active cases. 54,000. 19,000? That has to be wrong. We're either underreporting the cases or something is buggy. Screening tests, we are in complete control of the testing right now. We have 130 million tests. How come European countries have always had their capital as their biggest city? Why is this? I mean that's Europe for you. You must safeguard jobs. It's a bloodbath. Many employees are finding themselves without jobs and soon on the street. In these uncertain times, we all especially need your protection. The state must ease the pressure on businesses by compensating workers. That's what will allow us to hold on until this crisis is over. Let's go over to work. Go to COVID-19. Regulate economic activity. Application of strict health protocols and adapted for each economic sector. Let's go ahead and do that for the entire country. And then let's go over here. 10% of the 10% of the Russian people are unemployed due to COVID. Let's go ahead and do 100% of their salary. Consequences of a restriction of liberties. We got a 9-point bonus
coupled
from
with
that.
the Brown model on group psychotectonics.
Asian, let's not do that. Listen to your people, yeah. National holiday, we're gonna say no. The armies are defeated.
The decree.
So gatherings, now that takes place. Nationwide travel, partial unemployment, and regulation of economic activity. Implementing this, $590 million in partial unemployment, 14% now. Let's do 95% actually. I don't know if that's gonna get a lot of disapproval. That might. Yeah, lost about a point. Our FDI chips. Health. Number of ICU beds. We're not encroaching anything. We're not being overcrowded. We're not having any issues. We are using more occupancy of our ICU beds. 56,000 cases. 60,000 in Moscow and 21,000 in St. Petersburg. And then 6,000 in Vladivostok. What about Chechnya? 2,800. Volgograd. Almost 10,000 cases in Volgograd. Kursk. Not a lot of cases. Couple thousand cases in each region. 11,000. See, these cases have to be being underreported. Oh, hang on. Okay, I get it now. I completely get it. I get it. Okay, no, it's not a bug. It is not a bug. It is not. It is not a bug. Okay, so this, I think it is accounting for, so ICU beds, severe cases, deaths, and patients infected. So it says infected. But if you look over here, contaminated. It separates it between contamination and active. So active cases are people that actively are showing symptoms of COVID-19. In contaminated, I keep getting this confused. In contaminated, basically they are not showing symptoms, but they still are at risk of spreading COVID. But if they have actually recovered, so these numbers right here are actually mixed. So 386,000 of the 450,000 contaminated patients have recovered from it. But the difference between this number and this number is the actual number of people that are probably still actually able to spread it. So if they have recovered, they probably cannot spread it. But if they are, then they can. If they're not recovered, then they can spread it. And then that ends up turning into active cases, in which these active cases are going to fluctuate all over the place. So I think I finally got that down, is that this number right here is accounting not only for the active cases, but it is accounting for the contamination as well. This is probably the number of cases since the beginning of the epidemic. That too. But I think this is still working correctly. I haven't run into any bugs. Haven't run into any bugs so far. Hovering around 55,000 cases. Let's look. ICU beds available. Are we having any issues anywhere so far? Limited beds available. So all regions are doing well. ICU beds. The United States is not having any issues. Who is suffering the worst? Belgium. Let's see what's going on over there. ICU beds. I'm not having any issues with ICU. 525 active cases with 59,000 infected or contaminated, actually. Build a temporary hospital in Moscow. Yes, let's go ahead and do that. It's not meant to be permanent. It is in response to a unique emergency situation. Its construction will require the hiring of specialized staff. Let me go ahead and check the numbers again in Moscow. So 3,700 ICU beds and 3,500. Well, actually, we just suffered a drop in severe cases. How many severe cases? 193. Who has the most severe cases so far? Who has the least amount of... I guess it's not that severe. No one's really having any issues with severe cases, 135. Let's go here to... No. Let's go to health. Field hospital. The advantage of a field hospital is that it can be erected directly to quickly enclose whenever it is needed. It is mostly administered by the Army and requires a collaboration of specialists for its construction. A field hospital has all the capabilities and needs of fewer resources than a hospital functionality. So let's go ahead and put this outside of Moscow. Alright, and I am back. The numbers are rising again. We're not going to meet with anyone. The tournament is rescheduled. 44,000 numbers are actually going down. We have 48. We have 48,000 ICU beds available. It's a lot. And we are paying off our debt. Like, we're not having that many economic issues. We have a 1% deficit, but we are still literally paying our bills. It's very surprising that we are actually able to suffer from the coronavirus, but then we're also still we're not incurring that much debt from it. Except the United States. Do you have to play through COVID? There is a scenario in which you can actually not play through COVID if you wish not to. But if you actually start off in the regular World Rulers game, okay, I seriously need to get my approval up. Let's go legislation, minimum wage. Let's do $300 for the minimum wage. It's not gonna pass. It helped our approval, but we're gonna lose all that approval whenever it doesn't pass. Irrevocable resignation from the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister literally resigns as we're... Big yikes.
Considering the state of our relationship.
Really? Oh no, I can't, like... Not everyone is liking me right now. Oh, crap. Prime Minister to be appointed. Yes, sir. Please appoint someone. The budget deficit in this game has 3 different measures. The one on the flag, the one on the budget tab, and the one on the top right corner for each screen. The first is the most accurate. Proposal of resignation. You just got appointed!
My conscience does not allow me to...
Emptiness in the labs. Yes! Man, see, Russia is going to have issues. During a pandemic, we do a hiring campaign.
The bill has been voted.
Oh my god, we actually got that. We benefited from the approval. We benefited from the approval, but we didn't lose that much whenever it actually got rejected. That's awesome. Alright, the Indy 500 has been canceled due to coronavirus. Not enough tests? Seriously? It has to be a bug or something like that. Screening tests, 137 million tests. 6 million are going to be used in the next 2 weeks. Earth Overshoot Day. Schools are still subject to the regulations. 33,000 cases of coronavirus. So we're working our way down. So in total, we're actually... Wait. I saw something and I never saw it before. Let's do... Yes. What about date? 7/31. Literally just got it. Tour de France has been cancelled. Protocols on bars are still locked down. I guess I didn't say anything. Change the player. Oh crap, it was an electricity shortage. Yeah, that's what I have not been paying attention to. I have not been paying attention to my electricity. Let's go ahead and build a fusion plant. Definitely going to take that into account next time. I really want to build these what do you call it? Fusion nuclear power plants. Unfortunately, I do not have the God and Spy DLC for this. It was an additional $11. I could actually buy it in the future.
Hello! Right, there are a lot of people here. I'm at the headquarters of the Political Bureau where there's an extraordinary session going on. No, you haven't been invited because this meeting is actually about you. I fear that this time around, what you've done is beyond repair. The body is unhappy, and the people are frankly not supporting your actions. So, you see, the senior officials are discussing your future. The discussion is lively and... oh wait, there they are! They're leaving! The General Secretary's big smile probably expresses satisfaction about the decision. Right, the General Secretary, you know, the one that planned last year's purges.
last year's purges. Get rid of that song, and, well, I never got deposed for making a nuclear power plant, but I guess I'm getting deposed for having a really bad reaction to coronavirus and all that. Unfortunately, wait, hang on. Okay, so I don't have... Wait. Hang on. I'm gonna go ahead and quit this game early since I was already deposed. Let me try this. World without COVID. I want to test something. So for some reason, I remember seeing on the website that either it was supposed to be included in the game, or if it was going to be... Who the heck is this? There are not ordinary times where we play politics and juggle with the safety of society. There are times that we demand prompt decisions and utter responsibility towards not just the self, but our kind, the humankind. It is from Abhijit Maskar. Don't recognize him. 1994 and 1991. Man, I wish Everson would put me in that quotation line. What is this? Unforgettable Year. There's another.
The year 2020 promises to be an exciting year, especially with the Tokyo Olympic Games, which will captivate the whole world, and the suspenseful American election. In today's news, we have reports of continued unrest in Wuhan, China, which is quite rare in that country, it must be said. Unrest against the ban on having wild animals present in the city seafood market. Health officials made this decision following suspicious reports about market stalls this autumn. Keep in mind that many Chinese remain attached to these so-called wet markets because certain wild animals are used in traditional medicine and cuisine. So no pangolin on the menu this year, which remains the most poached animal species in the world. This concludes our broadcast, and before we leave, on behalf of the entire staff, I would like to extend our best wishes for health and prosperity.
All right. This is the world without COVID. Okay, so let me do this. Let's do fusion 2025 to 2028. Matter sciences and energy and environment. I'm going to give them absolutely complete full funding. 2025 to 2027. Let's do it again. 2025 to 2027. I have no ability to just unlock it. I would have to unlock it myself through research. Or that. Let's see what the public reaction is to that. Yikes. Health, prevention. Looks like you can still stock up on these things even before. So how the hell were we not supposed to get? So how were we not gonna get deposed? You just gotta make decisions that will actually benefit your popularity, I believe. So that's gonna be one of the biggest things. Are there any new taxes in this game, in this version? No, there's not. Space research, 2025, 2027. 3 million people. Yeah, I guess that's not gonna change anything. 2025. Yeah, we're gonna get that around there. I think I'm gonna go. I think I might buy the God and Spy edition. just so I can like easily just kind of like mess around and test certain things a part of the game. But guys, if you guys like this, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. I have been on here for about 3.5 hours. I really appreciate everyone joining this live stream today. This was the best live stream that I've actually held. I know you guys have been waiting so long for Power and Revolution 2020. If you are just now getting here, I have 3.5 hours of content that you can go through and watch. About the first hour kind of sucks because I was just kind of like I was literally letting time pass, watching the cases build up in the United States. But yeah, guys, if you guys like this, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'm definitely, without a doubt, I'm not going to be taking any more breaks. I'm going to make more Power and Revolution content for you guys. I know you guys have been waiting a long time for this. I've literally just been waiting for 2020 to come out just to do that. So, again, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. And just as a last thought, just everyone who's watching this thing right now, go into the chat and make sure to click on that link and join my Discord. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my Discord.